Elusive, intense, dangerous. And in the 2013 World Series of Poker main event, 9-time bracelet winner Phil Ivey has chips.
Never seen a guy for my life.
It's a long tournament.
Close to 1,500 players remain in the main event, but it's impossible to keep your eyes off the most talented player in the room. Ivey nearly had Phil Mader's stack, which could have put him near chip leader status.
Oh,
trying to push a form around.
It's early on day 3, but the poker world is already focused on Phil Ivey.
I had a dream so big and loud. I jumped so high, I touched the clouds. Whoa, oh, oh.
Texas Dolly Brunson, who wrote the book.
This is gonna be the best day.
He's moving in for the kill.
And there it is. Helmuth wins the championship.
Moneymaker puts his name amongst the greatest players in the game.
Wake me now.
Greg Merson is the main event champion.
Gonna be the best day of my life.
Biggest day of my life.
Main event, day 3.
Welcome back to Las Vegas as day 3 of the World Series of Poker main event rolls on. Over 6,000 entered, about a quarter remain. We check in right away with 10-time bracelet winner Johnny Chan, an 80% favorite to double up with jacks. With me as always, Norman Chad, who's made more World Series final tables than Chan in the last 2 years. Colin Moffat with pocket sevens. Here's the flop. King 5-5. Chan still good. All right, now the turn card. Queen of clubs brings Chan a card closer to a much-needed double-up.
Chan figures it's safe to sit down. He still has to dodge a 7.
I know you will.
And the river card is the 7. The long shot comes home for Colin Moffat, knocking out Johnny Chan.
Boy, Johnny put that in the W column, 1 card too early. Didn't know the poker gods punished Johnny Chan, though he did lose heads up to Helmuth in 1989.
Chan was on his feet, as he should be, for the flop and turn, sat down for the river, and the pocket jacks put another notch in their book. So a tough beat, sending Johnny Chan on his way. One of many big names to leave the Rio empty-handed. Yeah, it's a game of skill, but in the short run, even Johnny Chan can bust as an 80% favorite.
The great Johnny Chan, world champion twice, but he's only cashed in the main event twice in the last 20 years.
As for other past winners, defending champ Greg Merson still with an above-average stack. The legend Doyle Brunson showing he's still got game. 95 main event champ Dan Harrington needs to act. He's getting very short. 83 champion Tom McAvoy just shy of 100,000 chips. The Matador 01 main event champion Carlos Mortensen in good shape. The poker brat Phil Hellmuth hasn't gotten much going in this main event. And atop the leaderboard is Hellmuth's friend from Madison, Wisconsin, Mark Kroon, everything going his way and working towards 700,000.
The Madison, Wisconsin bar owner trying to take ownership of this main event. He credits Phil Hellmuth for improving his game. And right behind Kroon in chips, the grinder, 3-time bracelet winner Michael Mizrachi, who was 5th in the 2010 main event.
As usual, Phil Ivey always in contention. Kara Scott caught up with him during the last break.
We have Phil Ivey on the feature table, 1 level down. Talk to us about how it's going.
It's going great so far. I mean, it's a very good start. I got off to a very good start day 1, which is big. And I had a very good level the last level. Now I have like 310,000. I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it's a long grind, long tournament, so hopefully I keep chipping up and do a little better than I did the last time.
Phil lost almost 2/3 of his chips on day 1 last year, then busted on day 2. Tonight, Phil is the biggest stack at his table.
He looms large over any table here. Ivey has been as good as anybody in the main event during the poker boom. 4 top 25 finishes in the last 11 years.
Ivey has battled with seed 1 farmer Phil Mader, and given Mader's position, he'll probably see more of that.
Mader is in the big blind when Ivey is on the button. That is usually a recipe for a confrontation or two.
Ivey just about right where he would want to be on day 3 of the main event.
Where are you a farmer at?
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
You know where that's at?
I heard of him before.
Phil has no reported live caches in Nebraska. And Phil Mader has the action with pocket jacks.
I wanted to be a farmer, Lon, but I grew up in the suburbs, and it was all 7-Elevens and malls.
Full-time farmer, part-time poker player with a raise to 4,200 with the Jacks.
We just ran the numbers. The odds of Phil Ivey ever setting foot in Nebraska, less than 1/100th of 1%.
This is the part of the main event where the initial rush of adrenaline tends to fade, and your mind and body better be sharp for the long haul. Ivey in the big blind with 8-6 off, and he calls for 2,200 more.
Ivey 9 bracelets, but none of them in no-limit hold'em.
And here is the flop. It is 8-5-6, top 2 for Phil Ivey. Welcome to the world of Pocket Jacks, Farmer Phil.
Well, Farmer Phil is comfortable with that flop.
Ivey checked. Mater bet 6,000. 9-time bracelet winner. Check raises to 20,000.
Ivey executing a Nebraska poker flyover right now.
Pause for concern for Mater. But he re-raises to 51,000.
Well, earlier on day 3, Mater thought Ivey might be pushing him around. He's decided, incorrectly, that that's the case this time.
I'm all in.
All in?
Phil Ivey re-raises the amateur all-in.
I got a call.
All in and a call.
And Mater with his jacks makes the call to put himself at risk against Ivey's 2-pair.
Looks like Mater might get 86th from this main event.
Phil Ivey says, I got you.
Can I use my one time?
We have a one-time request from the friendly corn and bean farmer.
They are now issued with your entry ticket. So Mater looking for help. The queen means he's going to need his saving card on the river.
Mater needs a queen, jack, or 5, or he is wamboozled.
He's on his feet to watch the river card. Ivey looking for the knockout. And the river card is the jack, and Mater scores big with trips to double through Ivey.
There's my one time.
I knew that was going to happen because I didn't bet 70,000 against him the last. Swear to God, it's weird. Okay, how much is it?
And I think we just reduced the chances of Ivey ever going to Nebraska to 1/1000th of 1%.
Can't push around a farmer, huh? That's right.
Mater did cash in the 09 main event.
The board's so dry heavy on it.
So Johnny Chan out, Phil Ivey bruised. No one is safe at the main event.
I bet 70 on the river last time. He probably pays it off. And he has 30. Instead, I get punished for that. For that.
The Rio was buzzing when Doyle Brunson took a seat on day 1 of the main event. But here now on day 3, it's Phil Ivey that has everyone talking. Featured table, lots of chips even after that last hand. And the Phil Ivey aura. Is it too early to be talking final table again?
Final table? This is no-limit hold'em. He might not make it to the next commercial break. To get through the main event, it's like driving all the way cross country. There are highways where you can go 80, but there are also roads with plenty of potholes. Sure, Phil Ivey is the Lamborghini of poker players, but even he hits a bump now and again. How will he respond? How would I know? I drive a Honda Civic.
Oh, man. Look at my chips. It's so pretty. He has them nice and neat at the top, too, in order. Like he's silver in here.
Ivey seems to have let the negativity go.
Sure like to know about the other hand. That's the one.
Oh, you want to know about the other hand, too, huh?
Yeah.
That wasn't good enough?
There's been another.
I'd like to know what you had the other hand.
I'll tell you. You tell me.
Action on the software consultant from Pennsylvania, Igor Rabinovich with jacks and a raise to 5,000. Carlo Lopez now, Puerto Rican magician turned poker pro, sounds familiar. Ace-king.
He's made 3 World Series final tables.
$750,000 in live poker earnings, a re-raise to 14,000.
I figured you had either aces or kings. You know?
You gonna tell me?
I figured that's what you had. You had to have aces or kings, huh?
They're talking about the earlier day 3 hand where Ivey had a full house and Mater had trip queens.
Got a queen.
You got a queen. With what? A king?
A good queen. King queen.
King queen?
Please tell me if I was beat.
Huh?
Please tell me if I was beat. I told you.
Of course you were beat.
Back to Rabinovic. He says all in with his jacks for 53,300. Lopez with ace-king calls and will try to knock out the pocket jacks.
One time dealer. No. Let me win a contest. I had jacks too.
Yeah, Jack.
We both jacks. Dang. No, I'm just kidding.
Lopez wanted his one time, though he's not all in, and Rabinovic waved it off. Maybe you can get one time to reject a one time.
Interesting. There are these main event rules that we have so much to learn about. Here is the flop. Jack, king, ace. Rabinovic fends off disaster.
Jeez. Just like in the movies.
Very easy.
I had queen 10. I told you. I told you I had queen 10.
Folded the keyword, Ola.
The club up there, make it give it a better sweat.
5-6.
No sweat. Tray of hearts.
Red deuce.
Ace or king knocks out Rabinovic.
Actually, doesn't matter what deuce.
He's right. River card. 7 of hearts, and the jacks work for Rabinovic as he doubles through Carlo Lopez.
And Lopez loses most of his stack there. He's down to 8 big blinds.
With the double up, Rabinovic now with 56 big blinds, over 112,000, as the blinds at 1 and 2,000 now.
King, queen, see? Had you.
And impressed Ivy, thinking this guy can do more than just grow corn and beans. The 2013 World Series of Poker is brought to you by Caesars Casino on Facebook. What happens in Vegas now can go anywhere. Real drama at the Rio. Phil Mater now on the rail recapping the action.
You missed it. I got really lucky. I was all in. Ivy had two pair. 3, almost 3.
He's all in for 18,000.
I got lucky, really lucky. Jack on the river. Huh? Ivy. He had 2 pair.
Phil talking to his wife, Linda.
He said he had me beat on that other one. He said he had me beat.
If he said he had you beat, he had you beat. Phil Ivey does not lie to Nebraska farmers.
About 300.
You want this one? Are you sweating?
Yeah.
Phil Mater living to tell the tale to his wife. All right, let's get over to the secondary table where Doyle Brunson has been holding court, sitting with a decent stack of chips. Doyle has been pleasing the Railbirds all day long.
Doyle and Johnny Chan both won their 10th bracelets in 2005.
Amongst other things.
Next to Doyle is pro Sean Chacon, calm and collected here in 2013. Quite a contrast to a day back in 2005. Now the flop is 9-8 ace. Oh, Sheik's not happy.
You know, we're in a hand. You need to shut the up.
Uh-oh.
What did you say, Mike?
Mike.
What did you say, Mike? Did you say something?
I got it.
Did you say something to Mike? Oh, you don't get a penalty for that? You're an idiot.
You cannot talk about a hand in between a hand. We're playing for a lot of money. You jumped off your chair like you threw away part of the pot.
You know how tough it is for me, Doyle? The very first second when I tried buying in, I had a $5,000 chip and $5,000 cash. And I almost had security called on me. They wouldn't let me buy with a $5,000 chip.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you gamble for a while. She said, how'd you get this money? I said, my friend gave it to me. She said, well, we can't use that chip then. I said, what do you mean? I beat him in a poker game. I beat my friend money in a poker game. She said, well, you said that he gave it to you. I said, yeah, after I beat him.
He's quite the card, a lightning rod in the poker community. A lot of folks don't like him much.
He has pocket tens under the gun and a raise to 5,500.
Cheeky's in on him out.
Shiki once broke Mike Matisso's glasses during an episode of high-stakes poker.
No callers yet.
If you could win, we'd have a good lowball game. If you could win the tournament.
Once I win, there's things going to be changed. There'll be some changes in the poker world.
Maybe one of those changes would be mandatory shaving every other day.
To the amateur from Australia, John Cullyhole with pocket nines. He calls. On the button, Polish IT specialist Pavel Zawodovic.
Shiki's a very good low ball player, And his 15-year-old daughter, Tatiana, is a very good tennis player with a wicked 110-mile-per-hour serve.
Pavel calls in the small blind Ming Lee with queen 10 of hearts, and he calls in the big blind, the short stack at the table, Jeffrey Saunders with 7-4 off. He'll give it up. 4 players. I think Shiki got a little more action than he wanted with the 10s. All right, here's the flop. 9, 6, 7, a set for Collihole. Ming missed and checks. Shakan now with the 10s and a straight draw.
That's a good board for pocket 10s.
And he bets 15,000.
I'm all in.
Collihole moves all in with his set. Pavel folds. Ming folds. Shakan now.
Well, you thought this had?
Underneath that rough, tough exterior, Shiki's a pretty good poker player. This is for 40% of Shiki's remaining stack. If he called here and lost the hand, he'd still have 40 big blinds left.
So the lightning rod heads up with the lighting consultant from down under.
Very nice.
Shakan with a good read. Can he get rid of it? He does. So no fooling around for Collihole as he's happy to be stacking chips with that board.
Disciplined laydown from Shiki, a good one.
Yeah, 2 nines, I promise you.
Just because I like you?
I know what you had. Wow, because I had 2 10s, and I knew you had 2 9s because you were going to go and I was going to call your ass. I knew exactly what you had. But I had outs too. I had two 10s and 4
It wasn't the best board for me, but no choice.
It'll do. It'll look better when it comes along.
Yeah.
Oh, I put you on 2 9s, and sure enough, you had 2 freaking 9s. Before even I saw anything, I just knew you had 2 9s.
So many interesting stories passing through the halls of the Rio. One of the better ones is that of Laura Green and Scott Bourne, married just as the main event began, ended up playing at the same table on day 2. Here with Ace King, Laura just called the all-in of Felix Stevenson, holding Jack 10 off.
Well, Green has this backwards. When you're at risk, you put your hands on your head.
The flop 6, Ace 7, top pair, top kicker for Laura Green.
And when you're a 24-1 favorite on the flop, you can relax a little.
Turn card now. Another 7, Stevenson drawing dead. Green's aces up, gets the knockout.
What a story. Laura Green and Scott Bourne were married in Atlanta, flew the next day to Las Vegas for their honeymoon. Then they both played the following day on day 1 and survived. They both then randomly end up on the same table on day 2. Scott, in fact, had to double through Laura late on day 2 to survive. They're married 4 days, and she's calling his all-in? Good luck making it to your first anniversary.
Green now over 50K.
I know, right?
That's what you said, right? Yeah.
But at first he's like, oh, it was a great honeymoon. Yes, I'm like,
Wait, hold on. Is this you ahead of your husband now? Or?
I gotta check to find out. He got up to 50.
Did he really?
So yeah, he did. So, well, of course.
So Green with a nice chip stack. Her new hubby Scott Bourne coming up short of his new bride.
If a husband and wife both make day 3, they should be able to combine stacks, take the marital deduction, and play as one unit.
That might get more women in the main event. Who knows? Back to Doyle's table. The 2-time champ open raised with King Queen before Michael Miller re-raised from the button with Ace Queen.
The man who wrote Super System and the man who read Super System. And in that book, Doyle wrote that he hates playing Ace Queen, so Miller should know better.
Doyle makes the call for 8,300 more. Heads up with Miller once again. Miller's stack coming up short to Doyle's. Doyle has the most chips at this table. Here's the flop. King, Queen, trade. Top 2 for Doyle Brunson. He checks. Middle pair for Miller.
By the way, Doyle says he won't play Ace Queen, but he got knocked out of the 07 main event with it.
Turn card. Another King. Texas Dolly fills up.
In his next Super System, Doyle should write about the benefits of calling out of position pre-flop to a 3-bet with King Queen.
He checks again, playing with Miller.
Miller, 28-year-old, born in upstate New York.
He says he has no home. Just wanders around, playing poker, coaching poker, bets 12,500.
Well, Miller now is going to wish he paid more attention to Doyle's Ace-Queen chapter in Super System. Somehow Ace-Queen finds a million ways to lose.
Doyle. Chips in hand. How does he want to play this? That is a check raise, but just a minimum check raise to 25,000.
The hair over the glasses, I don't get, Lon. If you're going to block your vision, why put glasses on?
How many people have shrunk to that glare? Miller folds.
Queen's full, huh, buddy?
Shiki's close.
And Doyle stacking.
I bet you Queen's full. You give me a price if I bet it?
Take the under.
Will you lay me?
What would I lay you on what?
I want to bet you Queen's full.
You don't really want to bet, you just want to talk.
I know what you have. I see your hand.
Any please, sir?
Oh, I'm just kidding. I see your hand.
But Doyle is not kidding around. He's the king of the table right now, and the legend is chipping up.
10 years since Chris Moneymaker's main event win sparked a poker boom that still reverberates today. The rush of poker players to the tables caused by this man with the most appropriate name in poker was called the Moneymaker effect. So what's changed in the main event since 2003? Well, the field back then was 839 runners, and that could fit more than 7 times into this year's field. At the time, it was the biggest poker tournament in the world, but it's absolutely dwarfed by 2013's field of more than 6,300 runners. Another little piece of trivia for you. 2003 was also the year that a certain poker player by the name of Phil Ivey bubbled the final table.
I had never heard of Phil Ivey before. I mean, he was just some kid playing poker like everybody else who was the face in the crowd. Everybody always says that I got extremely lucky and sucked out on Phil Ivey. I guess I'm one of the few people in the world that don't see it that way.
A monster flop for Chris Moneymaker.
And to be honest, I really didn't want to run him off. I mean, when you flop a hand like ace-queen on a queen-queen-6 board, you want action.
Well, Phil Ivey is indeed going to take that bait, and he'll call it. Here comes the turn, and it's a 9, and that gives Phil Ivey a full house.
There's no reason for Moneymaker to assume that Ivey had the pocket 9s, so he's going to bet $200,000.
All in.
He is all in.
All in.
And quickly called.
Moneymaker's looking for an ace on the river. It's an ace!
It was obviously a pretty crucial bust because he would have definitely been a force to be reckoned with at the final table and not someone I wanted to see there.
So if Phil Ivey doesn't take that beat in 2003, he might have won the main event. Chris Moneymaker returns to Tennessee as an accountant, and the rest of us are wandering the countryside looking for a good poker game. Thank you, Ace on the River.
Yeah, it was a crushing blow to Ivey's tournament career as he's only got on to about $15 million in winnings since then. Ace-queen for Phil Mater. And he raises to $5,000.
I actually declared war on Phil Ivey earlier this year. The problem is he hasn't acknowledged it. He started Ivey Poker and brought on like 4,000 big names to work on the site. I don't even get a courtesy call. So I challenged him to a heads-up horse match, but he won't respond. I played with Ivey at one World Series event this year. I kept talking to him, and he just looked at me like I was speaking in Latin or Yiddish.
Mater's only taker is Ivey in the big blind with King Jack offsuit. Here's the flop. Ace, 5-10, a Broadway draw for Ivey. Top pair for Mater. Ivey checked. 6,000 from the farmer. Quick call from the 9-time bracelet winner.
Boy, Ivey apparently wants his chips back sitting on top of Mater's stack.
Turn card, Jack of Hearts. Hits Ivey, but he's still an 8-1 dog. He checked again. Mater checks. River card. A queen of clubs. Ivey hits Broadway. Now, how much does he think he can get from Phil Mater?
Boy, Ivey hits the straight, and ace-queen books another loser.
2 pair. Ace is up for Mater. Ivey bets 15,000.
Yeah, I doubt Phil Mater is folding top 2 here.
A call. Ivey shows him the winner and gets some chips back.
Gonna make an ace-high straight. Phil folds. Ivey's gonna win this spot.
Even.
Huh?
Even. Yeah.
Ivey should take his fellow Phil out to the dice table. Maybe he can help him get even there, too.
Ivey seemed to want to make sure he got a river call that time from Mater. 9 World Series bracelets teaches you a lot of ways to win.
Come on, Phil, heads up horse. Why are you dodging me?
1,421 players remain. Still in the field is actor-comedian Ray Romano. He came back to the main event for the 6th time. This is his deepest ever run, but his pre-flop shove with kings answered by the aces of Kelsey Hendricks.
Huh?
Who folded a king? Anybody?
If Ray loses, at least he's going out like a pro, kings to aces. Hey, everybody goes broke here. In fact, that could be his next show. Everybody goes broke here.
You had that before on me too, right?
Jack, deuce, queen, nothing for Romano.
You were scared about his finger. I know that.
Why are you prolonging it?
6 of diamonds.
Ray Romano's got to have a king.
River card is a tray. That brings an unfortunate end to this main event for Ray Romano.
Get the crazy horse on the phone and reserve my table.
Funny men not faring well at this main event.
Well, his deepest run yet. You know, he'll be back to try to make the money one of these years. The best news for him, though, is he outlasted Brad Garrett.
How we doing, guys? Now that's a... Holy smokes! How's it going? How you doing? A little Dom Perignon for the table. We're going to toast a $1 and $3 no-limit poker game.
Thank you, Phil.
All in moments.
Back inside the Amazon room, Madison, Wisconsin's Mark Kroon leading the day 3 field with more than 5 times the average stack. 2-time bracelet winner Greg Mueller, yeah, he's in the familiar massage mode.
Like Phil Ivey, he is a pioneer in the all-day massage.
2012 Octoniner Rob Salaburu has almost 175,000.
He's probably a 15-second massage guy.
Pros Melanie Weisner and Ronnie Barta going for the double selfie.
If that photo were taken in Nebraska, they now would be officially engaged.
And the grinder, Michael Mizrachi, still in it. It's not a big event unless he's got chips.
I think he brings his own chips to every event.
He is just that good. To all-time bracelet leader Phil Hellmuth with ace-queen pre-flop going against the 9s, held by poker pro Erkut Yilmaz, originally from Turkey, now lives in Sacramento, California. Here's the flop. And a queen for Hellmuth. He's a big favorite.
Hellmuth, like Phil Ivey, having a disappointing summer here in Las Vegas leading into the main event.
They both check. Turn card. Deuce of spades, no help to Yilmaz. He checks again. Hellmuth announces 8,000.
Small bet from the Brat.
Inviting Yilmaz into the pot. And there is the call. He has more than double Hellmuth's stack. River card, 7 of clubs. Yilmaz does not improve and can't win a showdown. He checks again.
14.
14 this time from Hellmuth.
Hellmuth playing very small ball. The ball's so small you can't even see it. Nah, I don't know if this is a take off your glasses and contemplate it moment. He hardly ever bluffs, sir. He always has it.
You didn't say tens. I was going to think like you got ace-jack. Now I feel like you might have ace-jack. Or maybe pocket 7s.
With that speech, Hellmuth definitely wants a call now.
Such a tiny bet. Yilmaz looks like he can hardly keep himself from calling.
Ace-queen.
That's why Hellmuth has cashed a record 99 times at the World Series. He makes ace-queen a winner.
Hellmuth stacking the chips, but Yilmaz still has the 13-time bracelet winner out-chipped at the moment. Yilmaz with almost 140,000, Hellmuth with about 115,000. So the Poker Brat's still in line for World Series cash number 100. At a neighboring table, chip leader Mark Kroon in action. He and Phil Hellmuth are used to playing poker in the same room.
I used to play in this little 1-2 game and in a little backroom bar. And I ran into a guy who was really loud and brash and didn't like to lose very much.
God, he called a race with 10 jack-offs. I mean, this is how I go out.
Everybody hated him because he always won.
I was grinding on Saturdays, picking up anywhere up to $400. And that was huge money to me way back then.
And then all of a sudden one day he won the World Series of Poker. And I'm like, he won the World Series of Poker? I go on to buy the bar that we started playing in.
Those games at his bar, I even played after I won the main event.
He's a lot different behind the scenes. We do a lot of golfing together. We do a lot of things together. I went out to play in a golf tournament in Las Vegas, ran into Phil. He goes, you ought to play in this poker tournament at the Four Queens. I played in the poker tournament at the Four Queens. I won the tournament. From then on, I just fell in love with poker.
If you guys catch me bluffing, I'll do a cartwheel naked through the casino.
Can you even do a cartwheel?
No, what is that? Are you calling me hefty?
These guys that play once a week, once a month, he's a master against them because he talks to him, talk, throws him off with the talking tactic.
If you win this hand, will you smile? Oh, you're starting to smile now. Oh, you got a hand.
This tournament especially is filled with amateurs, and so his style is perfect. And he can hold his own against professionals too, but his style is perfect for this tournament.
Well, judge for yourself. Kroon up against a very talented pro in Matt Affleck, who was 15th in the 2010 main event. But Matt drawing dead with ace-king to Kroon's turn straight.
So beautiful. That's the worst end.
A check from Affleck. Kroon bet 6,700.
Sometimes you assume the guy with all the chips has been bluffing a lot, so you start to make thin calls. Affleck holding on to ace-king for dear life. I don't see an ace or king on the board, and that board is almost complete, Lon.
You are correct, sir. Affleck with the call. River card coming. Another 7. Doesn't change the strength of Matt's hand.
Affleck back-to-back top 100 finishes in the main event in 2009 and 10.
He checks. Kroon with the best hand. Chip leader reaches for the big stack. Cuts out 12,700.
13-7? 12-7.
12-7.
It's ace-king, Matt.
Why do you want to play against the best player when you can play against all these other guys?
Kroon with a little Helmuth in him.
Sorry, other guys.
He's a polite trash talker. Affleck still thinking his ace-high might be good.
You ain't never going to figure it out.
Matt Affleck gives it up. Kroon continuing his role as chip magnet.
Everything working for 52-year-old Mark Kroon.
Please show that one on TV. Please. That'll be better than the Aruba call. Please show that one on
Affleck
TV.
with a strong stack still, but no match for Mark at this point. So Mark Kroon extending his lead on this main event field. If he's the one with all the chips in the end, that bracelet will be his. You are watching the 2013 World Series of Poker main event. We're about halfway through day 3. Tournament officials saying they're expecting the players to make the money near the beginning of day 4. Let's catch up with the secondary table where Doyle Brunson is the definitive top stack among the 8 seated there. Action on Martin Ryan, an amateur from Trinidad Tobago, looking for his first main event cash in 5 tries. A raise to 5,400 with a weak ace, Norman. Sorry you had to see that.
Ryan is 50 years old. Maybe this will be the year that someone over 50 wins the main event again. Hasn't happened since 1999. Irishman Noel Furlong was 61.
Fold it around to the big blind. 7 tray of diamonds. Doyle Brunson commits 3,400 more.
Texas Stallion was 43 years old when he won the second of his back-to-back main events in 1977.
Heads up the 2 big stacks at this table. King 10-10 Doyle with a flush draw. Checks looking for a free pass. Ryan with ace high. Says, I don't think so, Doyle. 6,500.
But Doyle has turned the 7-3 suited into a coin flip here on the flop. Doyle's hat, by the way, is 43 years old tomorrow.
And he makes the call. And he wants to investigate the turn. We'll see what happens. And there's another king, 2 pair on the board. Ryan's ace is the difference right now. River card, 9 of hearts. Doyle misses his flush draw.
Well, Doyle misses that flush draw, but looks like he's going to test the strength of Ryan's hand.
Plan B is to bet 17,000.
Doyle is playing the board, and it's a fine-looking board. Ryan's got to figure out if his ace-high is good.
Ryan's not going to find out as he folds to the 10-time bracelet winner.
At the age of 79, you just shouldn't be stealing.
Ryan falls below 200,000, still a very healthy stack. But Doyle earning more elbow room, which allows him to play his strengths when possible. All right, let's get back over to the featured table where smart farmer Phil Mader is currently the big stack of that group. Action right now on James Hudson. He's in the cutoff seat. He's got pocket 5s. He's a poker pro, born in England, but he grew up in Canada. A raise to 4,500. Mader folds. In the small blind, David Chase, Southern California poker pro with 2 queens.
35-year-old used to be a mortgage lender, but that was a losing proposition.
A re-raise to 16,000, folded back now to Hudson and his 5s.
Hudson has a sociology degree, but in a study on sociologists conducted by sociologists, they found out that 90% of sociologists don't make money.
I wonder how they paid for the study. Hudson does make the call for 11,005 more. And look at this, Mr. Hudson. You flopped quads.
Chase here betting with that less than 1% sign next to his name. He's back to being a mortgage lender.
And he bets 23,600. And now Hudson has to find a way to double up with these quad fives, he's thinking.
Well, right now he's assembling a slow play call.
There it is. They both love their hand. Turn card, 10 of hearts, no queen, so Chase is drawing dead.
Yeah, but pocket queens still look good with that board.
And Hudson loves what he's seeing as Chase puts out over 60,000. Throwing good chips after bad.
Well, when Hudson raises here, if he puts his wristwatch into the pot, that should tell Chase he has quads.
And now Chase wondering, what is Hudson up to?
I'm all in.
Going for it all.
Call.
And a quick call. Yeah, I got quads.
And Chase sees he's drawn very dead.
You got me. Probably.
Well, let's see. This could be the greatest river of all time.
Wow. All right, officially the river card, the 4 of diamonds, and Hudson will double up to almost 300,000 chips, and David Chase left with 3 big blinds.
Nice hand, sir. Not going to claim skill on that one.
James Hudson proving that big things can happen to guys in plaid shirts. Quad fives works wonders for any wardrobe. Tonight's bracelet moment is presented by PokerNews.com. Eric Lindgren's career reached another peak at the 2013 World Series of Poker as E-Dog claimed his 2nd gold bracelet and first since 2008 when he was named World Series Player of the Year. Lindgren's victory came in the 5K 6-handed no-limit hold'em event where he defeated fellow pro Lee Markholt.
Lee Markholt is probably the best player that people may not know. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I feel great. I feel like it was a long journey, and this makes everything worth it.
Eric Lindgren now joins the group of big-name stars who won bracelets in the last 12 months. Quite impressive indeed. On day 1, we tracked Daniel Negreanu before he busted on day 2. Here he is in mic check.
What do you want from my life? Let's do this. Can't complain. Life is good. Yeah, feeling sexy. How long have you been drinking that soda stuff? Cigarette smoker also. When are you gonna quit? Not a quitter. Whoa, I didn't even see that. That was a flush there. I was gonna wear that same dress today, I swear. You look much better in it than I do. You know what I feel like doing? Winning a pot. They're screwed. They're all screwed. They don't even know it yet. Oh, I got a new pickup line. What kind of material does that feel like? Boyfriend material? Oh. No? I love that one. Works every time. That's not a good one. I don't want that one. Try again. Here. Flip a different one. That's not good. Oh, you're sweet. I'm gonna come hug you, okay? Bye. Ooh, I got the nuts.
Daniel's whole life is a mic check, and he never says the wrong thing. Great player, class act, always thinking about how to make poker better. Here he was on day 2, going bust when his ace-king never improved.
You got me covered, right? All right, you have to tell me the story another time.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, bro.
It's all good.
Daniel currently 2nd to Matthew Ashton in the World Series Player of the Year standings, based largely on Negreanu's World Series Asia Pacific main event victory. 1,114 players left, average stack 171,000. Back to the main event days 1, 2, and 3. Chip leader Mark Kroon. All the cards are out. Kroon holding, can I say it, squad douche against the 10-high straight of Somar Aldarwich. Kroon has the action.
Aldarwich turned the nut straight, and Kroon was drawn to nothing.
And Kroon thinking about doing something. A bet of 51,800. Chip leader's got to bluff once in a while.
Well, we haven't seen Kroon in the spot before, betting with nothing on the river. The German youngster in an enviable spot here. He's got the nuts, and he's been bet into.
Naturally, Aldarwich will raise Kroon here. The question is how much?
Raise. How much is that?
Like I said, how much? It's a total of 167,500.
Well, if it were 2 wooden nickels, it's more than Mark Kroon's going to put in.
7,500.
So Kroon with nothing. is not going anywhere quickly, Norman.
Unless he's Hollywooding it. He bluffed at it, got raised, but doesn't appear to be ready to say uncle.
Well, I wonder if Kroon sees something in Al Darwich that makes him think that he's on a bluff.
I raise.
He says, I raise.
I can't believe this is a Phil Hellmuth approved play.
A raise to almost 312,000 from Kroon.
Kroon with a massive misread and a massive misstep. He's blowing up his day 3 chip lead.
Al Darwich moves all in, and that doesn't leave much for Kroon to call.
Just another 28,000. Kroon's getting about 27 to 1 on a call here. That's pretty rare. He can only call here if he believes Al Darwich is just bluff shoved.
Well, I don't have a hand, obviously. I could beat a bluff.
I'm never bluffing, I told you.
I guess he's supposed to call just in case. He's got the chips. Look at the size of the pot.
An embarrassed chip leader.
Obviously. But obviously I can't fold.
He does commit those chips. And Kroon mucks. Al Darwich now is the chip leader of the main event.
Yeah, Mark Kroon blows up with king high, and we have a new king at this main event.
Nearly 800,000 chips for Somar Al Darwich, and an ill-timed attempt by Kroon to play bully cost him almost 60% of his stack. Somar Al Darwich celebrates as he is gifted the chip lead, and Mark Kroon left to wonder why he let almost 400,000 valuable main event chips evaporate with king high. The 2013 World Series of Poker is brought to you by the official WSOP social game. Download now on Facebook or your smartphone.
Fat, dude. I mean, can we trim down the sides a little? You know, it's obviously, they did a really good job. It's really cool. The sad thing is, I think I look more like Jerry Yang.
Chris, part of a trio of main event stars who kicked off the day ones this year, Moneymaker, Brunson, and Mercer. A new player coming to the featured table. Look out! Nice catch, Phil. That's Bill Phillips with one of the more memorable entrances to the featured table. Holy
It's like Kramer.
I hope that wasn't on TV, was it?
Definitely. They're just going to replay it over and over again. Sorry, bud.
Don't worry about that, Bill. We would never do... but it was so good. Let's see it again.
He trips on the step, then tries to save his sunglasses. That's a bad move. And Phil Ivey, showing compassion I didn't know he had in him, tries to brace Phillips' fall, without getting up, of course.
Ironically, Phillips owns a transportation company which takes people to medical appointments. With King 8 of Hearts, he has calmed down, and he's ready to get into the action. A raise to 7,000.
Phillips hits the ground running again.
He does indeed. On the button, Ivey with King Jack offsuit.
I can assure you Ivey will not lend Phillips a hand here.
He calls for 7,000. Hudson releases his small blind to Mater. 4 tray of hearts.
He's a World Series circuit grinder with 12 cashes. In fact, he plays poker so much, I don't know who's looking after the farm.
Norman, I think he was thinking about playing just because Ivey was in the hand.
Well, let's see if Phillips can stumble into a pot here.
Oh, very nice. Phillips dominated by Ivey. Trade Jack 5. Phillips with a flush draw, but top pair for Ivey. Phillips first to act.
Well, Phillips tripped coming in. Now he's betting into Ivey out of position.
16,000.
This is a rough feature table for the 49-year-old amateur from Kenosha.
Wow, Ivey taking some time with this. Raises Phillips all in.
Phillips is all in.
I think Phillips might have to gamble with this one.
He too is thinking about it.
Echo.
And here he goes all in with his flush draw.
Well, Ivey nearly a 2-to-1 favorite to end Bill Phillips' day. Phillips not happy to see his king is useless here. He'll need a heart or running 8s.
And he does have 2 shots at running down Phil Ivey for the double up. Turn card now. Phillips pairs up. He's now got a chance at trips again, Norman.
Phillips now needs a heart or an 8 to double through Phil Ivey.
The river card is the queen of diamonds. Ivy saved Bill from breaking his neck and then knocks him out. Phillips exits.
Well, let's see if he can exit safely.
Well, there is another step. Wait for it. Wait for it. And he's safely on his way, and Ivy now has pushed past his friendly rival, Phil Mader.
But you've got to get up pretty early in the morning to get a jump on a farmer.
Solar Al Darwich now over 800,000 and at the top of the chip counts with under 1,100 players remaining. And Al Darwich seems to be still in shock about the hand with Mark Kroon.
It was just incredible when he shoved all in on the river, and it's still nuts, and he shows it. I don't know what he had, but he said he could only can be the bluff, and it's just amazing now, over 800K, and wow, I'm still alive, and it was so fun with him to play, and now I think we will never be friends again.
Oh, Mark Kroon will still be friends with you. And hey, I want to be friends with Phil Ivey, but I don't even think he knows my name.
Tonight's Day 3 action proved that the cards don't care about your pedigree.
Yes. I knew that was going to happen.
Who folded the king? Anybody? Why are you prolonging it?
But for Phil Ivey, the first brick on the comeback trail was laid by the man who put him there.
Of course you would be.
The World Series of Poker main event keeps on chugging along.
Just like in the movies.
You want to play against the best player when you can play against all these other guys. Sorry, other guys.
For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.